Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. It's Thursday. It's been a very active week. There's lots of earnings coming out right now, so I have to actually be pretty quick myself because I was just trading them. Now I'm coming in here, and we have a lot of things going on. Today was one of those days where you didn't have to do much, right? We had a two-day powerful move in the indices. Tuesday was the day to add to your longs and the spiders and the Qs and the small caps. And then Wednesday you had your follow through to today we had what we call an inside day. I said that this morning. I'm like, today feels like we could do an inside day after two powerful ones. That actually is constructive. And then we could play individual names depending on what we're in, and you manage your positions based on your risk. So let's go real quickly into the indices. You go right here to the S&P cash, and you'll see, let's just go right up to even here. Here was your upper range. On Tuesday was right there. That's when we broke above some of those candlesticks that were getting rejected. So that gave you your clue to be extra long, right? We were in a range for almost 2 months. Add here, you got paid on Wednesday, and then today held in pretty well, okay? At this point, it looks constructive. I thought maybe it would come test this gap here. It might still tomorrow. Who knows? All in all, it's above the 8 and 21 day, a little extended. You might go sideways one more day, or we might just continue and not wait for anyone. So if you're in this for a swing trade, you should definitely still be in some and just continue to trail it up to about 23.20. If you're trying to be perfect, maybe you see a test of this gap or so. We'll see. It all depends on how the earnings get treated. I'm just going to do the IWM because, just to see, so you see the difference. The small caps that broke above this spot that I sold yesterday came into the gap. So, if just thinking, hey, if the small caps could come into the gap, maybe some of the other indices do. But again, the small caps are weaker than most sectors. Why is it weaker than most sectors? Because you have the S&P just making new highs. The small caps haven't. You have the Qs, all the way through new highs. So that's why you can't use that as a leading indicator. A lot of bears keep pointing at it. It just means it's not leading. It's in line to lagging somewhat. Here was your breakout in tech. Up here, would you be buying all in? No. This was your time for your swing trade, and then you've probably been trimming trailing it this whole way. And now, here was your last little red dog reversal at the 8th day, and now we're 4 days up. So might need some time to just sit here. So let's get into earnings. Okay, first things first. We've been involved in Google. We don't take stock into earnings no matter what we think, which is good because at this point now Google's down 25 points. You could have actually traded it here and there, and we'll see how it opens tomorrow. But basically with Google, it was priced for perfection. It needed over $10, which I talked about this morning, in order to get a good move, considering why do I say it had to be well more than the whisper number? Because it's at all-time highs. After a move like this, that you've seen, to the upside, you need to be above the whisper number, not in line or not mixed with, higher revenues and a little lower on the headline. So anyway, this was your first reflex move down to 820, which is where it came from. Okay, that was your initial once it looked like it missed the top line, and now it's hovering a little bit above. So it's taking out this all-time high move because it went up before the earnings. So we'll see how it handles this. Maybe it even goes green. I'm sure everyone's going to support it and upgrade it, etc. For us, I bought the 840s for like 13, and then I sold the 870s for 8. Okay, so it cost me $5. If it went to 900, I would have been pissed. But instead, now it didn't cost me that much, and who knows? Maybe it goes up to 850-ish, and I break even because I get to keep the $8 that I sold. And I bought this in the hole. I didn't buy the call spread up here. I bought it before taking off this spot. Plus, we played it for this play into here, and now we're not stuck, because we thought Google would do well and it's down $20, which is why, again, we don't take stock into earnings, just options. Risk is premium paid. We'll see. Intel came out. We also are along the 38s. I don't know if we're going to make money on that. We might break even. Why do we take the 38s? Because this was a big level, okay? And then you go all the way across to the weekly. The weekly I was looking at, I was like, wow, Intel hasn't really done anything, for a while here. Look at the triple top. You don't hear of quadruple tops because usually it gets taken out. You go back even to the weekly chart. The weekly chart, just you look at it and, if I don't know if this one or next one, but all in all, really nice pattern here. It's basically been accumulated since 2000 to 16 years. Look where that peak was. So I thought perhaps maybe they up guidance, the cloud, to this, to that, automated vehicle. So now it's a little bit over 38. We're going to need more to make money in the options. Remember I showed you the Microsoft chart a few years ago. Microsoft was my play of the year, not because I wanted the, I liked their tablet, etc. It was because you had the same thing. Went sideways for a decade, okay? Came above this, got above, and then took out your 2000 highs. I'm not saying Intel's going to do that. I'm just saying, just lining it up, saying there is potential. If it's not this quarter, maybe it's later this year. So just remember that. And I'm not saying it's going to get up to here, but Intel, you never know. But for now, it's a little bit above this pivot. We'll see if it continues to go above it. Microsoft was up small. Up here, it did have a strong report, but it's going to really have to be impressive for it to take out this 38 and hold above it tomorrow. I don't think you should be buying Microsoft with both hands, even though who knows? Actually, I shouldn't say that. As long as it stays above this pivot, which is $38, I guess there's a chance that it could stay above there. But really, in my notes, we were talking about it holding here, which was one move, and then thank goodness, just like the rest of the market, gave you a trade where you didn't have to be long into the actual earnings. Okay, and there's something here. Okay, yeah. So that's that. What else came out with? I'm not exactly sure. Let me take one more look at Google before we move on. Google. Hold on. I'm like using my phone. I'm very archaic. I'm not the best with technology, but I like the 7 Plus. Let's go. Where is Google trading right now at this second? It is, what time is it? It is 4:29. Do you know where your Google is? Let's see. Microsoft headline 83 versus 79. Let's see what Microsoft's doing. Microsoft is, what do you guys think? Microsoft's up 63 cents. Oh, what am I doing here? Sorry, that's Intel again. It's been a long day. Here's Microsoft, okay? I knew I was looking at something weird. So here's Microsoft. It's above this pivot. Has to stay above 64.53. This was your spot to buy against, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it's a lot is priced in. I wouldn't be chasing it tomorrow. Intel, different, has that 38, and I showed you why I really like that level, because it goes way back. Now let's look one more time before I go into other things, because everyone wants a little bit of an update. Google, where do we think Google's trading? I think it's trading at 836. Let's see, Google. 838. So, okay, our strike's 840. Let's hope it goes up to 850. Maybe we'll be able to sell the calls for $10 and then keep the 8 and actually make $5 and say, hey, it didn't work, but we played it well. Amazon today, I tweeted out that I sold my options because, again, it did a nice move before. Okay, and earnings aren't until next Thursday. So with Amazon, we've had really nice trades. This was when it took out this inside wedge, and then we had a nice day trade here when it needed a nice bull flag, came above it and then held above it, and then look at this move. Okay, this was a nice pre-earnings move back to old highs. So I thought maybe it'll bring out some sellers. So I bought the 820s in here for like, I don't even remember, 20, and I sold them today for 43. So now if we get a little bit of downside, that'd be nice into next week. So then we could maybe buy the 840s or 850s for a better report that really crushes it in Amazon to give us 50 points and make big money on options versus not. But all in all, we had a really nice trade in the stock. We bought it here the same time we bought the options. I sold the stock yesterday, and now we had another 4-day move in the options, the same way we had about a 4-day move in these options besides the stock. So Amazon has been good to us this year. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you, my son, because he ordered it and I loved it. And I was like, wow, everyone I know has an Alexa. Amazon is not a product company, so I used my little Buffett style, and then I used my technicalist overlay, and there you go. The banks were real strong today. JP Morgan, it came in long. I am not long JP Morgan right now. Does that mean the banks are going to crash? No, it just means that we're getting back to the upper end of the range. I liked it into the 50-day. I added right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What does Red Dog usually do? He takes off his trade. I could probably sit in it, but I'm not. I took it off. Same thing with Bank of America. Bank of America still looks fine. I don't know. I just got a little bored. But as long as it stays above here, it can continue to the upside. Goldman Sachs, I showed you that chart earlier in the week to buy against 230.50. If you did so, congratulations. Against the 50-day, it was calculated 3 days up, into this resistance. Probably not a bad idea to sell some, but does seem at some point it's going to get back up to there. So lots of trading going on. That's what happens during earnings season. And if you look for trades and you look to manage positions and you have a nice tier system and you have strategies to play for earnings and then after the print as well, you can move and shake and maneuver and make money instead of worrying about who's in the executive office, worried about if a top's going to happen, worried about everyone likes to worry about everything instead of worrying about how they execute on their game plan that takes a lot of time to put together on top of a process that takes even more time. So inside day in the indices, Dow is still over 20,000. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Could be another inside day with an upside bias if Microsoft and Intel hold in there. We'll see, if Google stays down and how it affects some of the other high beta tech names. Our BABA call spread should be taken away. If you remember with BABA, you had your descending trend line here, okay, which is where we got long. And then I bought the same way I tried to do with Google. I bought the 95s. And then it went all of a sudden to 98, sold the hundreds, and now my 95s will cover my hundreds, and I'm not worried about this mess. That call spread will be taken away, and maybe if Bobby gets a little closer to here, we'll buy it back. All in all, tried to push up today, it couldn't. It might need a little bit of time here before it makes an attempt towards highs, so we will give it that time. The same way Netflix was sold on earnings, still hanging around doesn't mean it's over. It just means it doesn't have enough power yet. Here is your red dog reversal, still above there, so if you're in some, that's fine. It just hasn't been able to get above this spot to get more momentum. Okay, remember here, everyone said game over for Netflix because it had 4 little down days and then started to get going. So we'll see what happens here as it comes into the 8th day. And lastly, I'll leave you with Tesla because I'm not in Tesla. Very similar, okay. Now you have 2 down days, 8 days catching up. I'd love to see it move down towards here to try and rebuy some back. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. All in all, it's been a really nice trade since here, and then another nice trade here, and then another nice trade when it cleared there. And the last time I think I was really active was I was a buyer here on the 8th day, bought more, sold there, and haven't done much since here except for shorting it yesterday, but I didn't do anything with it today. We'll see how it handles that spot. All right. Time to get going. I'm in short hills tomorrow. I'll definitely tweet about what's going on. You can watch all the positions on VTF. You'll see I'm not much anymore. Tuesday was my day to really get in more, which I already had some, equity longs on. Wednesday was a nice, sell some because we had that 2-day move. Today, sold a little bit more, and now, I'll be a little bit more stock specific. We get another nice little consolidation up here. I'll go in there again, and we'll keep doing that until something changes. Have a good night.